A Florida man has been sentenced to 30 years in prison after he was found guilty of being the quote unquote CEO of the Purple Drink. So if you listen to rap music, you've probably heard a little bit about the Purple Drink, and apparently there is a criminal element to it, and it involves Harrison Garcia, the man who was just sentenced to 30 years in prison. Now, according to federal prosecutors, Garcia was responsible for pumping the South Florida music scene with the concoction, and it's a mix of promethazine with codeine, soda, and Jolly Ranchers. It's also known as sizzurp and lean. So this is an amazing story. I don't know, I just found it super fascinating because of how incredibly dumb this criminal is, okay? So the reason why he got in trouble and the reason why he got caught was because he was bragging about it on Instagram incessantly. And so federal prosecutors were like, oh, this guy, we think he might be tied to a string of robberies, string of burglaries with these drugstores in the South Florida area. Now the 27-year-old relentlessly boasted online, referring to himself as the CEO of Purple Drink, and even sporting a pendant featuring a diamond-encrusted styrofoam cup.
Gee, I wonder if he was doing it, I can't quite tell.
So they opened
That's what they drink Purple Drink in. I mean,
the red cup, right?
Yeah, it's styrofoam cups overall.
I think it's those red cups though. No, it's styrofoam. I don't know. I've never had the Purple Drink.
Oh, so sure you have a nice little trick there, yeah.
It actually sounds pretty terrible. Like if I'm at a party, I don't want to fall asleep. It sounds like I'd fall asleep drinking that, but nonetheless.
I mean, look, I'm a square, but if you handed me something and said like, no, it's okay, I made this at home, I call it Purple Drink, and it's got drugs in it. I'm like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Okay, I'm all right. Somebody get me a Coke or a beer, or some vodka or whatever, but I'm not drinking that.
Right. So let's give you some information about his Instagram page and what he posted on there. Records provided by Instagram pursuant to the search warrant revealed direct messages sent and received by Garcia, in which Garcia negotiated with customers for the sale of promethazine with codeine, marijuana, and other controlled substances, and also agreed to provide the requested narcotics. They did go ahead and search his home. After his arrest, Garcia directed police to a stash house in suburban Miami. There, law enforcement found a fully loaded AK-47 assault rifle, a loaded Uzi submachine gun, and 3,000 Xanax pills.
I don't know why they think that he might be doing something wrong. So apparently good police work to get him to admit his stash house. Okay, let me tell you what I think he's guilty of and not guilty of. So, the burglaries, if proven, where they go in and got the material they needed for the Purple Drink, it's a 4-team crew that doesn't even involve him. He's apparently
the ringleader.
The ringleader for it. So if that's all proven out and it has been in trials, yeah, he should go to prison for that. No question about it. I think that all drugs should be legal. So I think I wouldn't drink this, and it probably has done a decent amount. There's good theories as to how much harm it's done in the music industry to some of the people who drank it.
I think it is legal. I don't think this is an illegal substance.
Well, but they're charging him with selling it. If it's perfectly legal, then he's allowed to sell it.
Well, they're not necessarily they didn't necessarily charge him for selling it. They charged him for stealing the material and then reselling it. So
look, I think in terms of drugs, the more legal we make all the drugs, the safer they're gonna be, right? So if there's a legal way to do Purple Drink and it doesn't kill people or really harm them, okay, right? And even if it really harms them, that's their call to make. But if it's tightly regulated, it's still better than some schmuck in Miami who's like, I got styrofoam cups for everybody, right? So even if it's super dangerous, we're better off regulating it than letting hosers in Miami sell it left and right. So I don't know that he should go to jail for anything other than the burglaries. You're saying that's the case anyway, so all right, I guess mission accomplished.
Yeah, no, based on what I've read about him and what I know about him, he should be in prison. You can't, first of all, he had a bunch of illegal weapons. It's not just one thing. It's not like, oh, this guy just had, an inventory of cough syrup and whatever, Jolly Ranchers, and he made this drink and handed it out at parties. That's not what he did. That's only a tiny part of what he did. It was, being the ringleader of these burglaries, having all of these illegal weapons that he wasn't supposed to have possession of, all of these other prescription drugs that he wasn't supposed to have possession of. Those are the things that he did that eventually led to him getting charged and convicted.
Yeah, so there's a general charge that he got convicted on called drug trafficking, but it might be for the things that you could legally have, but that he couldn't legally have because he didn't have a prescription for it. So, but the bottom line is, let's legalize everything so that it's way safer. Don't trust a random dude in Miami to give you a purple drink, okay? And if you're gonna commit a crime, don't admit to it on Instagram.
Don't brag about it on Instagram.
Not only was the stuff that with the pictures and the bragging, but the orders, the illegal orders that he would fill, he would DM on Instagram, which was a treasure trove of confessions for the authorities.
Exactly.
So on the other hand, if you're gonna be a criminal, do all of this the favor of being as dumb as Harrison Garcia. If you like this video, you'll love the whole TYT network. Check it out at tytnetwork.com/join.